Welcome back to my channel. It is Candace with a K here, where I normally talk books, beauty, and kicks. I'm giving my review of Women of the Post by Joshunda Sanders. I'd like to thank the people over at Hear Our Voices Tours. They were able to give me a digital copy of this book for my review, and I must say that I did enjoy this title, but I thought I was going to enjoy it a whole lot more. So just for context, this book is about a all-Negro women's battalion group, and it follows the lives particularly of three of those women. First, you have Judy, you have Charity, and you have Mary Alice. So Judy is just looking for something new. She's looking for a new start. She was living with her mother. Her father passed away. Her husband was away at war, and her mother was basically a cleaner for white women. And she was overworked and underpaid, and she was just fed up. And so she felt as though going into the service would allow her to get a higher stream of income, as well as have some type of living legacy with her husband being away. So she enlists, and then we get her story. Charity, on the other hand, is moving up in the ranks, but is having difficulty with expressing her sexuality. She is a woman attracted to women, but she's also the child of a pastor, and so we all know what religion was like and still is like, especially in the 40s. And so she was trying to really negotiate those feelings behind her sexuality, but also, you know, being respected and loved by her family. Lastly, you have Mary Alice, who all her life thought she was white until she decided to have this new start by enlisting in the army or in the service and learning that she was actually half white, half black. So imagine going your whole life thinking you're a white woman to then be disassociated from by your best friends and learn that you are actually colored because of your birth certificate. So her mother hid that from her forever. And so she is dealing with that while also coming to understand the harsh realities of what it's like being a woman of color, particularly a black woman. So this book is called Women of the Post because the women in this story, while they are a part of the service, they were a part of a particular set of women who helped to clear the backlog of mail that is used to lift the morale for male soldiers. So while women couldn't fight on the battle lines per se, they were still able to be helpful in war times and contribute to their part of society. Now that I've given you just a little bit of what the story is like, I'm going to be dropping spoilers. So if you are not interested, this is your time to skedaddle. But make sure you go read the book and come back. The book is listed down below in the description box so that you can get your copy today. All in all, this book has the pieces to be really great, but I just feel like the pacing is very slow, and I feel as though it just doesn't progress as quickly as I would hope. One of the things that I really liked about the book is this historical aspect of it. One of my goals this year was to read more historical fiction, and I feel as though this book does a great job in acknowledging much of the time and the historical events that were taking place around World War II. There are just so many nuggets of just actual history intertwined with this fiction story that it makes it a seamless way to come to understand what it was like in those times. I think overall, the story is a much needed story to be told. And I think it is necessary to hear what and in what ways women contributed to the times of war that didn't include being on the front lines. But what it missed for me was just a little bit more character complexity. And that's all I really wanted. I think the greatest thing for me, and which kind of drew me into the book and I expected more, was to see how Mary Alice learned that she was Negro based off of her birth certificate. What I do appreciate is that once learning that she was Negro, she had to realize and understand the ways in which her being white passing was then used to her advantage as a black woman. So of course, colorism is a thing that is rampant in the black community, and how do lighter skinned women use their privilege to help all women. And I think in this book, the author does a very good job of negotiating the ways in which Mary Alice used her skin color to better the group. What I also liked about Mary Alice's arc is that in the beginning, she was really upset and sad about being Black. But by the end of it, she came to be loved and welcomed by her Black family. So I think that is actually one of the best character arcs in a novel. The thing about this book is that it is very much predictable. When you notice that Judy's husband has gone missing, Herbert, you already know that he's passed on. And it's just unfortunate that Mary Alice had to sit with that because she was being a nosy bee and was going through the mail and happened to find that. She should have told Judy sooner, but I understand where Mary Alice was coming from as far as not telling Judy. But it was just very predictable that we knew he was dead. It was just a matter of time of when Judy was going to find out. I think one thing that I didn't expect to happen nor want to happen was that Bernadette was killed in a car crash. And it's kind of eerie the way that it was presented, because Charity's crush and her best friend, her name escapes me right now, she was having a premonition that somebody was going to get hurt, and then the next day Bernadette was killed. Bernadette was one of my favorite characters in the book because she was just so full of life, and so, you know, like, she was a fashion girl, and that's my kind of girl. So was that necessary, Joshunda? I don't know. But I just really hate that that happened, because she was just a great character. One thing that I also liked about this book is that we got a fast forward to what they were in their older age, and we saw that they were still connected and still together, because when you experience something like this where you're traveling out of the country doing service, it really does connect you with people on a lifelong level. And I think that was absolutely amazing that we saw that they were still connected, still together, still being friends. One thing about this book is that I do foresee it being like a TV show. I think it would be great for screen adaptation. Maybe even, it's very rare that I, put film over TV, but I think a film like this would be really great, because it does just enough to give you the story, and then you could take it further in whichever direction you want to go. Overall, I gave this story a 3 out of 5. Because there were so many aspects of the story that I did like. I just wanted more, and maybe more depth to the characters, maybe a little bit less predictability, and maybe just something else that would keep me interested in the overall story. And I don't feel like I had enough that kept me really interested. But nonetheless, I have it linked down below in the description box so that you can get your copy right now. And I would love for you to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to follow Candace with a K Reads. That's where I post all reading related things. And I'll be sure to see you in my next video. Peace.